happening, people? This is Rohit here, and in this podcast episode, I'm going to discuss my experience of being comfortable alone at home along with my struggles. It's been a wonderful journey for sure. So, let me give this context of being comfortable alone at home and how and why it's actually very important along with my journey till now. In the beginning, as a child, whenever I was back in India, my parents would go out, and those times I would be alone at home, and other times I would be outside. But here, the context is being alone at home, right? I realized that there was some sort of distraction, whether it's through phone. I mean, that's when I got my phone as well. So I was busy in my phone, or I was reading or studying. Something or the other was happening at home, or I was, as usual, I was eating. So, but also the other important thing is that I knew that my parents would be coming back home and that it will not be alone for a long time, prolonged period of time. But as an international student here, my experience is a lot different because in Philadelphia, my roommates were friends. So whenever I was coming back home, there's some face that I was going to see, and I was super excited about it. But right now, the situation is different because living in Jersey City, it's just roommates as roommates kind of relationship. It's not friends. As roommates, amazing. I don't have anything to complain about anyone. But everyone has their own life, and each one is there having their own stuff, right? So it's very different. And before moving in itself, I knew that it will be more like roommates relationship only, and not friendship kind of thing. And I was completely fine with it because I had a very different idea of how it will turn. I'll be like, I'll do this and I'll do that, and yeah, everything here and there, what all happened had to happen, needed to happen. Everything gone. Okay, good. But then I also realized after coming to Jersey City that when I was going back home in the beginning, there's no face to look forward to. That was one thing which I realized because all my life, whenever I came back home, there was someone at home and I was happy to see them. But here I'm coming back to an empty home. The thought about that made me sad, and it was something which I was still getting used to, right? So this was something I was new as well, and then I never knew each one's schedule, so I knew that I wouldn't be seeing anyone's faces when I went back home. It's only when I go out of my home that's when I can see other people's faces. But when I'm coming back home, nothing like that. And the second thing was I always realized that whenever I came home from college or school, high school, middle school, college, or even in Philadelphia, I would come back home, put my stuff, and go outside once again. I realized that was not happening. So that was like again something that I was getting used to. I'm like, okay, all this experience is quite new to me, and I'm talking about experience which happened in 2022. So right now it's a lot different, so I'll be covering how the journey has changed. And then 2020 I also started therapy. I was like, I didn't need anything. I was like, you know what, I just wanted as part of self improvement. And yeah, there again, that's another separate story of my journey. But I feel the self awareness from therapy has helped me a lot as well. And then I realized that I've been going on solo dates a lot, or and then going to college, I would come back home late at night. All this kind of helped me because right when I came back home, it was time to sleep. So I did not have any time to feel lonely or sad. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to sleep anyway. So it was more like coming back home to just rest. So it became like that, and it's completely fine. And I also noticed that whenever I had to eat, there was some sort of distraction. There was some sort of watching videos or doing something or the other because I was not comfortable being alone. And that's the whole essence of what I feel is an important life skill to learn. Cutting back to right now, I feel it's been a lot different because I learned what it's like, and now I can just eat without doing anything. Here I realized the important factor is that there was so much of emotional avoidance. I was not ready to be alone. I was not being comfortable alone, so I needed some sort of distraction. That distraction was very important for me. I feel each one of us are also going through the same, and now I feel it's more like enlightenment for me that I am able to sit here and talk and tell people, hey, that's something which we are doing was wrong. Earlier I did not realize that because I needed something. Because now as a college student, when I talk to people on campus, I realize a lot of people are actually not comfortable being alone, and that too on a college campus. Imagine what if it was home, or what if it was a place like this, and now I'm like sitting here in this room, there's nobody around me, and I'm quite comfortable. I don't need to talk to people all the time. I'm getting that time just for myself. But so much has changed in the last 1 or 2 years. In the beginning years, I was lonely and sad. Whenever I was at home, I needed that distraction. I needed something or the other thing. You tend to, oh, you need to call people and talk. You need to do this and talk. You need to do that and talk. Right now, one of my roommates is also facing the same issue. But I realized that my journey has been so much different, so much growth, that I feel, yes, if you're really lonely, I'm here to talk. But apart from that, I made it clear that as much as I want to help, there also needs to be the self improvement, self growth area, because this is a very important skill. Again and again, I'm stressing on it because I really feel that it's important. And now that I'm just grateful for the kind of journey that I've had, and to be able to say that I got so comfortable being alone at home, that now when I go home it feels like my safe space. There's like solo dance sessions, solo singing sessions, fitness sessions. Like, I'm actually getting energy whenever you're going to a place, and whenever you're getting energy, you're getting that rejuvenation kind of feeling. It means it's a good thing, because it has become your safe space so much that you're actually being so comfortable. And whenever after a tired day you're coming back home early, I'd be like, you know what, let's just sleep. But now I'm actually getting more energy when I go back home, which means I'm become more and more comfortable. I realize that here and there sometimes you do get lonely, but I feel like in 365 days, if it's just 1 or 2 days for a few minutes you're getting lonely, then definitely it's a sign of growth. And I feel that's how my journey has been. I'm actually more happy when I have the house just for myself. Earlier it was like, what is this happening? But now I'm like, I have the whole house for myself, blasting music. I'm like doing this, doing that. I'm like, wow, I have the whole house. I'm waiting for those moments to have the whole house for myself. It has become like that. So I feel from how it was earlier on, you're having this emotionally avoidant person who's trying to look for some sort of distraction one way or the other, and then not, or like, you realize the roommate is there at home and you're happy, or like it's there, but once they leave, I'm like, oh, I'm home alone, what is this? To now actually being like, yo, I realized that the roommate is out. I have the whole house for myself. So the kind of happiness of what was happening, same thing which was happening, but the emotional response is so different. You're able to eat without any distraction, you're able to be alone and do nothing without distraction. Video journaling is happening, podcast. I'm able to use that time to do great things and to reflect, having my own self-care day where I actually stay at home and do so many things like aromatherapy, like super bath, like eating, and there's so many good things, so many things for self-care, just having the time just for myself. And I feel that's a very important life skill which I learned because of the circumstances. And somewhere inside, my effort was also there. Not, this was definitely not whole my effort, I needed to lean. It just happened that the circumstances were like that. And this a skill which I learned after 22 years in my life. All this time, as an extrovert, all this time, I mean, it was like, I don't want to call myself extrovert, ambivert. I feel I'm more of an ambivert these days, where I'm actually getting more comfortable with being alone. And yeah, I mean, it's been a wonderful journey and definitely grateful for it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See you all in another one. Till then, bye from me.